Yeah, hello there and welcome back. And let us continue with our lesson over here. And today we are going to learn about the stack and how we can create a stack in the Flutter as well as the SwiftUI and the Jetpack compose. So let us get started over here. And I'll just go to my screen and I'll create a new file on the Flutter project over here. And let's call this one as a stack str screen.the file. So you can just give any name and I'll just create a state. Let's create a stateful. Maybe we will be using some states, or let's create, I think we are not going to use any state, so let's create a stateless, and I'll call this one as stack str in screen. Okay, so that should be good. And let's import our package over here, which will be of a metro. And here let's return the scaffold, and let's also add the app bar. So let's add the app bar to over here, and then we'll add the body over here. And inside that body, what I'll do is I'll return the stack over here. So stack, and then the stack has the children, so we need to define the children over here. And once we have that, let me close all of this, and inside this children, okay, let me create a proper intent for this one. Okay, so once we got that, let's add this. What we want to do is let's create a box or a rectangle box over here, so we can add like a layer of that particular box. So stack basically means you want to add particularly a widget on top of each other, right? So overlapping widget. So let's try to add that particular widget over here. Let's add a box. So maybe we can go with a decorated box over here, and we can add some decoration to our box, as well as we can add our a child widget over here, and the child widget will be of the size box. And we can define the width for this one, and let's give a width of the full screen. So media query dot the of context, right? And then we can use the size dot of the width. So for the width, and let's get the height maybe of 200. That should be fine. 200 pixel. And on the decoration, what we'll do is box decoration, and with this box decoration we can add some color to this particular box. So let's add the color dot the maybe a green, and then we can add the shape if you want. So like let's say box shape dot the rectangle, right? Or you can add something different. So once we add that, we can also add the border, I guess a border radius. So for the border radius, I'll say a border border radius, border radius dot all, I guess, or we can use some circular border radius dot circular, and let's give 8, or we can just give a 16. So that's look good. And what I can do now is let's try to run this one. So I'll just go and run this application first of all, and let's see how it look like in our device over here. And once you run your project, you can see we got a nice looking box over here. So let's try to add some stack to this particular box. So I'll just copy the same concept of this particular box over here, and I will just try to make it a smaller box. So let's say 1.5, and then I'll just give a 100 of a 50, and then let's change the color to something like yellow, and then I'll just copy this one from here, and let's create a 3 box over here. So another one will be the let's say divide by 2, so that will be much smaller, and then we will have of 100 of the height over here, and let's keep a color of the red. And let's try to rebuild this application, and let's see how it look like. So now you can see that we have added a stack of this particular box, and then you can see we have added a 3 box over here. So one each of the green color, another one each of the yellow, and then also of the red color. So this is a simple stack. You can also add some of the position or the alignment over here, but we are not going to look into it since we need to cover up the SwiftUI. So let's move on to the SwiftUI our project. So here in our SwiftUI project, let's go and add a new file. So let me create a new file, and let's take the SwiftUI view from here and just click next. And let's create this one as STSC stack view or something. So just click on next, and that's it. Create our SwiftUI view over here, and just remove this one, means we are not going to use that one. And over here in the body, what we will do is we will use a jet stack over here, and using the jet stack we can create a particular stack over here. So what I will do is I'll create a round rectangle that we have previously used, right? So I'll just use a round rectangle, and the corner, instead of the corner size, I'll use a corner radius over here. And with this corner radius I can just keep the size of let's say we want to give around a 16, and I can remove this one from here. And also I can add a little bit of a style over here, which is of the dot. I can use a circular, and that should be fine. So with this I can also add the fill color for this one, and I can use a color something like a green over here. And once we got that, I can just define the frame size over here, and then I'll just say a width dot the infinite, so which will give us the infinite width over here. And also I need a height over here, right? So I'll just give around a 200. So let's try to run this one, and let's see how it look like over here. And you can see that we have a nice looking green box over here. And if I want to have some more of that particular stack, so let's copy the same round rectangle over here, and we'll just adjust the height for this one, let's say of a 150, and this one should be of the 100. And let's change the color of this one to the something like yellow that we previously defined, and also of the red over here. So now we get that particular stack over here. And for this one, let's try to give it as a 200 over here, or let's say a 300. And for this one, let's give it as a 200 over here. So now you can see we got the stack of that particular box. So this is a simple stack on the SwiftUI. So let's move on to the Compose project over there. And in our Android Studio project, we'll go and create a new composable function. So let's create a composable function over here, and let's call this one as a stack view or something, right? So once we have this function, let's go inside of this function, and we will create a box over here. Sorry, not the cop, so it should be of a box over here. And then let's add some modifier for this one. Modifier dot let's say fill max width. So let's have a max width over here. And with this one, what we can do is we can create another box inside this one. And with that box, let's add some modifier over here. MODI modifier, and then we add some of the let's go and add some modifier for this one. So first of all, I'll change the background over here. So basic background, and here I can give the color COCOR color, and a color dot, let's keep it something like do we have a green? So we have a green, right? So let's keep that one. And then what I will do is after that, with the green color, I can also say that it should be of the dot. Okay, I need to remove this comma from here. So dot, I have a property of the fill the max width. So let's say we want to have a max width for this one. Another one, let's give it as a height. We need a height, so height of a 200 and 200.ddp, and that should be okay. So once I have that, let's go and copy this one and run it from here. And let's go to our application. Let's try to run in our actual device, or you can also set it to the preview. So if I go to the default preview, I should add that stack view over here, stack view, and that should also, we can split this particular code over here, and we should be able to see that particular view over here too. And here you can see we got a box, and also if we run our device, we should get that particular box over here. So what I can do is I can just copy this particular box over here and just paste it below. Let's add a 3 box. So here it will be of the yellow that we have previously defined, and then we'll just define the width, and let's add the width of around a 300.ddp, and a height, let's define as a 150, and for this one let's define as a red over here, and then the width, let's fill in the width of the 200, and then 200.ddp, and here with the height, let's give it as 100 of the dp. And let's try to refresh this one, and let's try to let's try to run it on the device too. And once you run in the device, you can see we get that particular 3 box that we have added over here on the stack of each other. So this is also the another simple way of creating a stack in the Jetpack Compose. And we have covered the simple stack on the Jetpack Compose as well as on the SwiftUI and our Flutter project over here. So that's all for this lesson, and we'll meet up in the next one. Till then, have a great day.